Why should we care about police brutality? The estimated cost of police brutality incidents in the United States is $1.8 billion. People who are African American are twice as likely to be killed by a police officer while being unarmed compared to a Caucasian individual. 97% of the cases of police brutality that were tracked in 2015 did not result in any officer involved being charged with a crime. 39% of African American individuals who were killed by police during their arrest were not attacking when they were killed. The killings of Hispanics often go unnoticed and not mentioned. African Americans are 2.5 times more likely to be shot by police than whites. 1/2 of Americans say they fear physical danger from police no matter the race. 52% of police officers report that it is not unusual for law enforcement officials to turn a blind eye to the improper conduct of other officers. 61% of police officers state they do not always report serious abuse that has been directly observed by fellow officers. 84% of police officers have stated in a recent survey that they have directly witnessed a fellow officer using more force than was necessary.
What people should know about police brutality. People are quicker to shoot an unarmed black man than an unarmed white man. Failures are more likely to occur when the subject is black. The first rule of law enforcement is to go home at the end of your shift. So the key principle is officer survival. Most training is designed to promote officer survival, and that ends up endangering rather than preserving safety. Officers are trained to view every encounter as a potential deadly force incident. Criminals who have endured police brutality are typically minorities. When it comes to police violence, people of color seem to get it first and worst, and that deserves discussion. Society is hugely affected when it comes to police brutality, and that needs to change.
One big problem with police brutality is stop and frisk. Stop and frisk is the situation in which a police officer who is suspicious of an individual detains the person and runs his or her hands lightly over the suspect's outer garments to determine if the person has a concealed weapon. Stop and frisk really started because of the war on drugs and primarily took place in New York. Officers' tendency to suspect all individuals who pass through drug hotspots thus led to many stop and frisk of people who were simply going about their daily legal lives. During these stops, officers might gratuitously insult participants, telling them to move their black asses or calling women bitches. Participants of the stop and frisk movement suffered kicks to beatings that broke ribs and teeth. As a result of these stop and frisks for nothing, many participants of these communities felt insecure whenever they were in the streets and public spaces of their neighborhood.
Some other issues with police brutality are body cameras and police planting evidence. Body cameras are solely controlled by police officers and other police departments across the country. Evidence is being planted to frame innocent people. Police officers are working together to manufacture evidence to put away so-called criminals. The body camera footage can be deleted and is deleted after a certain amount of time, giving officers complete control of the outcome. Body cameras have been known to defy expectations. Officers with cameras use force and face civilian complaints at about the same rates as others without cameras. About 40% of it is deleted within 90 days, while the rest is to be kept for months, years, or decades, depending on the statute of limitations for the charges connected to the footage. Cameras raise significant privacy issues, particularly in low-income minority neighborhoods, and that vendors were beginning to experiment with incorporating facial recognition software, violating the privacy rules of the U.S. Constitution.
What are the sociological implications of police brutality if it is not taken care of? Rioting and protesting, Black Lives Matter movement, the lack of trust in police are being viewed as the enemy, kneeling during the national anthem, divide between minorities and police, causing a social divide in society.
Finally, what's at stake if police brutality isn't resolved? The tension between cops and minorities will only grow. People will take matters into their own hands. A civil war is in the near future, and no sense of authority will be seen in society.